Hello, everybody. Today is July 10th, and I just want to talk about the unemployment going on in America right now. And in my state in particular, we are one of the highest we have the highest unemployment rate. And the problem that a lot of my employers and managers are getting, and a lot of my friends who are managers who run small businesses, the problem that they're getting is that they can't convince people on unemployment currently to hop off unemployment and return back to work. They're unable to match the wages they would have received from collecting unemployment. Currently, I believe that I think in the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I think the unemployment was anywhere between 11 to 15%. Let me Google it real quick. Okay, so it's 11.1%. And we don't know if that's true or not. There's probably a lot of people not being accounted for. They're probably counting a lot of the people employed in a weird way, like people who are part time, temp jobs, gig workers. The way they calculate the number of people employed and unemployed. It's probably a little disingenuous. You'd probably have to dig into it a little bit more to get actual numbers. There's probably a lot of people being left out as well. But anyway, you know, I've noticed that a lot of expert economists have been talking about this more recently, and the problem is that a lot of people don't want to return back to work. And you'd have to ask yourself, well, why would you? Because think about it like this: if you're the average Joe, and the average American who works a job that they don't even care for, not a career, but a job, okay? And you're just another cog in the wheel. You're just another leg in a centipede, and you don't like where the direction's heading. Why would you want to go back to work? You probably don't. So we see a lot of countries in this world that do have some sort of government handout, so people can sustain some sort of living without working. And this has been sort of a way to disincentivize people to actually be working. But as we see now, a lot of the production's been going down, and we get more and more into debt. And for some odd reason, people think that we can sustain this, but we can't. Because if we consume more than we produce, well, someone's going to have to pay for it one way or the other, right? But I don't think people understand that because they think, I don't know if it's because they don't want to understand it, or they just choose not to understand that, or they've never been taught to understand that. But if you have more consumption than production, who's going to pay for that? Where is it coming from? But anyway, you know, why would anybody want to go back to work? Again, most people don't even care about their jobs. Most people don't even care about their careers. Most people don't even like what they do, even if they're in a career and they're tenured. Most people would rather stay at home and make money. So, let me ask you this: if you had a choice between making, uh, I don't know, $1,248 a week on unemployment, would you rather collect that with the CARES Act, or would you rather work for 400, 500 a week and be taxed, income tax, and not have much free time and be tired? Well, you'd probably collect the unemployment, right? And so, people have been, it's funny because I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying it for 3 or 4 months now that people are going to be taking advantage of the CARES Act. People are going to be taking advantage of unemployment. And so far, it seems like essential employees haven't been given any sort of redemption. I mean, or compensation. Because think about it like this. I've done previous videos where I've shown the math that um, even if, okay, first off, people who are unemployed collecting unemployment insurance make more than those who are working, okay? And if you end up, even if you did get the $10,000 from hazard pay, it's still hardly, you don't you either make the same as those on unemployment finally, you make a little less still, or you finally start to make more. But the more that you make, the addition that you make from being an essential employee is so little is so minuscule that it's not a form of compensation. So, you know, I personally think that if the Fed's going to be printing so much money, trillions and trillions of dollars, okay, at this point, I don't see any other way we can get people off unemployment unless you start incentivizing them to get back to work. And how do you do this? Okay, well, here's what I've noticed. Those on unemployment don't care about those who are on employment. They don't care. They don't care about essential employees. They really don't. My friends don't. Okay? Your friends probably don't. Do you see any of your people or any of your friends on unemployment advocating for essential pay for hazard do you see them advocating for hazard pay for essential employees? No. At most they'll say, "Yeah, that sucks. You deserve hazard pay." But they don't care. They don't truly care. No one does. Because it's not in their best interest. Because think about it like this. If the government supposedly has a certain amount of money to work with, and a certain amount of money they can distribute, supposedly, people by nature are selfish. People like Peter Schiff has called this out. You're going to have people who think that it's going to take away from their benefits if you reward others with this money, right? So those people on unemployment are like, oh, well, if they give essential employees hazard pay, well, that might take away from my benefits because they have a certain budget to work with, supposedly. We don't know. They can print as much money as they want. It's just who's going to pay for it is the real question. So, that being said, because people don't want to get off unemployment and they'll make as many excuses as they can, I suggest this. $10,000 isn't enough for hazard pay. It's not. Let's be real, okay? That is barely matching those on unemployment, and even if it was surpassing it, it's not enough, okay? 1, 2, 3 grand is not enough. If you're on unemployment for the past 4 months and the CARES Act will be extended for the next who knows how long, you're still going to be making what? Anywhere from 300, 400, 500, 600 if they extend it till that much and they leave it at 600. You'll have so much free time. You'll have so much free money to have. And what do you think those people are going to be doing with their money? They're just, if you had a brain, okay? If you had a brain and you're on unemployment, you could be cashing in right now. You would be using that money to invest in stocks when the stock market keeps going up. You would use that money to allocate into you would use that money towards your business. You would use it towards your education, your skills. You would use it towards buying gold and silver. You would be using it to better your life and all that free time. What are you gonna do with that free time? Focus on yourself. Focus on your mental health. Focus on your education, your skills that can transition into the future. Working on your business, working on yourself, enjoying life, relaxing for a bit. But what do essential employees get? They have to work harder than ever. No one gives a shit. No one thanks them. You have to work harder than ever in conditions that could be health threatening. And you make less money. That sucks. Don't you get it? It sucks. There is literally no reason for anyone not to be on unemployment at the moment. And everybody knows that the CARES Act is going to be extended. And I've been saying this for months. It's going to be extended. There is no way that they can allow millions of people to supposedly starve. And even if they're not going to starve, no one is going to throw away the election to do what's right. Okay? So here's my proposal. You want people to return back to work? Well, you got to incentivize them to go back to work. And how do you do that? Well, again, it's more beneficial financially, time-wise, and for your sake of your health to stay at home on unemployment. 3 big keys. 3 big reasons why not to go to work. But if you pay essential employees a big sum of money, then those on unemployment will want to hop off unemployment. But you simply cannot do that either. Okay? We have to accept the fact that we're going to be going through inflation. Okay? There's just no ifs and buts about it. With the money we printed, with all the liquidity that the Fed has been throwing into the markets and to people's hands, there is no way whatsoever that we can ignore the fact that we're going to go through inflation. But you know what? At this point, prices can adjust to this. We'll just have to figure it out. Okay? But if you want to fix the unemployment rate, time, I don't know. Can you equate the time into money? I don't know. You can probably figure out an equation, but $10,000 is not enough. That is not enough. I have asked all my friends on unemployment, hey, what do you think about the 10,000 in hazard pay? It's not enough. I said, hey, would you return back to work if you got the 10,000? They say no, because it doesn't make sense to you. They've had 4 months of free time. It's probably going to be extended 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 year. So time is money. They don't want to go back to work because they realize that time is valuable. It's a valuable asset. It cannot be traded. It is invaluable. So they understand that time is money. Okay? And they're making more money than ever, throwing the money into stocks and bettering their life. And their health isn't at jeopardy like ours as essential employees. So why would they want to return back to work? $10,000 isn't enough. You're gonna have to pay them way more. You're gonna have to pay this lump. You're gonna have to retroactively pay a bigger lump sum than $10,000. Okay? Because that's not enough. Essential employees are gonna catch on and realize that, hey, if you retroactively pay since January 27th, $13 an hour per every hour worked, and it caps at $10,000, it would have already ended last month in June. So that means from June till July and later, you won't be making any additional hazard pay because it capped at $10,000. And by $13 an hour since January, it's already capped in June. Okay, so that needs to be uncapped. Secondly, $13 isn't enough. You should be giving all essential employees who have worked this time a bigger lump sum. 20, 30, 40, 50 grand? Why not? Why not? If you can just print more money, why not? The markets will adjust to the inflation. Okay? You've already screwed a lot of people, pensions, savings, and retirement anyway. I don't know. Is the government gonna admit that they messed up with the CARES Act? Because this has gone terribly wrong. What, do you want Americans to just say, do you want essential employees to just say, hey, you're welcome? No, no. People in America these days don't feel as if it is their right and duty and honor to serve their country when they've been thrown away by the people they work for just to profit a couple pennies off them. Do you see why there's no company loyalty anymore? Because companies show no loyalty to its employees. So why, if you expect employees and essential employees to openly be screwed over financially and their time and health without any real form of compensation, well, that's not going to go right. So $10,000 isn't enough. It's gonna have to be more. If I can figure this out, and I've been saying this for months, and I'm a young man. Imagine everybody else is gonna be able to figure it out who are much smarter than me, who are much wiser than me, and older than me. They're gonna be pissed because I'm pissed, and all my friends who are essential employees are pissed because we're being screwed over financially. And what do you want to do for time? All the time that we've thrown. The government is gonna have to figure out a lot of forms of compensation for these essential employees. Not just $10,000. Nope, not just 10,000. It's gonna have to be way more than that. People are gonna be pissed when they do the math. When they sit down for 1 minute and do the simple math, they're gonna feel shafted. 10,000 isn't enough because, if an essential employee is making, I don't know, $400, $500 a week, even if it's more, even if it's $1,000 a week, they're going to see their neighbor making $1,248 a week, having a great old time sitting at home, playing video games, bettering himself, bettering his life. And he's going to use that, and that neighbor of his is sitting fat and happy at home, gambling in the stock markets, doubling his money. While this guy's trudging at work every day for people who don't even care about him. So, I don't know. You're going to have to figure something out. And you know what, essential employees, if you're listening, you're going to have to start you're gonna have to start standing up for yourself and what's right. You're gonna have to start advocating for your hazard pay. You're gonna have to start educating people about what's going on, because those on unemployment do not care about you. They simply do not. There is no reason for them to. It is probably not in their best interest from how they see it. You guys need to start doing something, because 10,000 is not enough, and you may not even be eligible if your employer doesn't go out and apply for it. So think about that for a bit. Start doing the math. If you don't believe me, do the math and figure out what's a reasonable compensation, because 10,000 isn't enough. As an essential employee, you spend more money just by existing, because you're buying goods, services, oil, gas, lunch, utilities. You're paying for extra things because you're expending more, and therefore you are consuming more. So you are spending more, and you're working as prices will rise, and you're making less than those on unemployment. So again, would you rather be an essential employee, working harder than ever, getting paid, I don't know, minimum wage, a little bit over that, in a thankless job during a global pandemic, risking your health, working at people who are ungrateful? Or would you rather be unemployed, collecting bank, not risking your health, gambling in the stock markets, focusing on yourself, focusing on your education, going on vacation? Did I mention that in my state, we've had people already come in who don't follow the rules from quarantine, and they're on vacation right now, probably on unemployment? Well, they can afford it now because they have the money to. Does that sound fair to you? It doesn't sound fair to me. So I hope you guys all think about that. I'm probably going to start going into debt, really, because this is not okay, and people need to start realizing that they are getting screwed over financially by being an essential employee. They don't realize that the amount of inflation that's going to happen, the purchasing power of the dollar will go down, and the amount of money people are making off unemployment and doubling their money through investments. You guys just don't realize how much people are truly profiting off the unemployment. You just do not understand, and I wish you could fathom this. But let me tell you this. While I make $540 a week as an essential employee, working harder than ever, finally got a day off after like 20 something days. My friends, first time investors, been gambling in the stock market, making 40 grand, pulling in 40 grand in this past month alone through speculative stocks. And that's good. And thank God I invest in stocks too. Thank God I buy gold and silver. Thank God I do these things, because I need to put my money into these risky assets at the moment, because my job, probably like yours, doesn't pay enough to match the price and cost of rising goods and services around us, and we're just going to see it keep rising as our pay stays the same. So I hope you think about that. I really hope you do. And if you have any questions, leave the comment below. I will address them as best as I can. Again, I'm not an expert economist. I don't know. I'm just a young man who sees something going wrong, and I think we should do something about it. I hope you all have a good night.